Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our class with me, Miss Fadhillah Amalia. Okay, student, how are you today? Fine. Okay. How about your fasting? Really nice. Okay. So, who is the leader of this class? Okay, you. Okay. Can you help me to lead for praying? Okay. Okay, thank you. So, are there someone absent today? No one? That's great. Okay, so at this day, we will learn about new topics in biology and it has a correlation with our daily. So, before we continue, I will mention some pictures to give you a clues what will we learn today. Okay, this is watermelon and a big pizza. So, the question is, what should we do if we want to eat foods but it has a big size for our mouth? Like this, watermelon and pizza. Okay. Okay. Anyone answer? Okay. That's exactly. We have to cut it first into a small size before we can eat it. For the example, you can cut for watermelon and pizza into a small size like slice, and you can making the watermelon into a juice. Okay, like that. Okay, so are there for the next questions, are there process in our body that have same works with I explained before? What is that? Digestive system. Okay, that's right. Before we continue, let me introduce what the topics we will learn today. Look at this slide. For the first, we will learning about the definitions about digestion system, and the second is the comparison between mechanical digestions and chemical digestions, and the third is digestive enzyme. So, I will mention about the definitions about food digestion first. Okay, so food digestion is the process in our body that changes metabolites from food into an energy in our body. And at this phenomena, there are phenomena that change in form of food from macromolecule into micromolecule. So, based on my explanations, can you analyze what is the definitions about system digestions? Will answer? Okay, you? Okay, that's great. So, digestion system is the arrangement of maybe digestion tract, gland, and enzyme that support our food digestions. So, we will continue in next slide. Okay. Are there someone know how many types of food digestions in our body? 2 types? Okay, what is that? You will answer? That's exactly. There are mechanical process and chemical digestions. Okay, so based on its definitions, its title, what is the definitions about mechanical process? Okay, you? Okay, that's great. So mechanical digestion is the process of processing of food that occur in our mouth and our stomach. Okay, in our mouth there are teeth and tongue to support a digestion system, digestion process, while in the stomach there are peristaltic movement to move our foods. While the chemical digestion is carried out by enzyme, without enzyme in our body, our process in our body will taking a long time. Okay, so after that, can you analyze what is the important functions for enzyme in our body? Will answer? Okay, you? That's great. They have a functions as a biocatalyst that can making that can make all process in our body more fast than without enzyme. Okay, so I will give you a refreshing topics about enzyme. So for the first, there are enzymology. What is enzymology? Will answer? Okay, you? That's great. Okay, enzymology is the first study about enzyme. Okay, so after that, this is a whole enzyme. Whole enzyme is the whole unit in enzyme, and we can divide it into two parts. There are apoenzyme and also cofactors. Okay, apoenzyme is constructed by protein, while the cofactors constructed by non-protein. After that, cofactor have two material. There are coenzyme and also protestic group. Coenzyme is the constructed by non-organic organic material, while the protestic group constructed by non-organic material. Okay, so can you analyze what is the main characteristic of enzyme? Just like I explained it before. Okay, who will answer? Okay, that's right. As a biocatalyst, let's give an applause for him. Okay, okay. So please look at this slide. This is the characteristic of enzyme. For the first, they are as a biocatalyst. Okay, just I told you before that enzyme can help our all process in our body to more fast, to not taking a long time. So after that, there are thermolabile. Enzyme is thermolabile. After that, the third is enzyme is a protein because enzyme is constructed by amino acid. After that, they have a specific characteristic. Exactly, enzyme just can work in certain substrate. Okay. After that, reversible because enzyme have a functions to arrangement or to break the substrate like that. After that, do not break in another process because enzyme just as a biocatalyst. After that, decrease the activation energy. So can you analyze what is the functions of enzyme? So they can decrease the energy activations. Okay, will answer? Okay, you? That's good. Okay, please give him applause. Okay, okay. So enzyme can decrease the activation energy because, like a biocatalyst, a process without enzyme will require more energy than the process with enzyme, like that. We continue with this slide. Okay, it's about how enzyme work. We can see that there are two theories about enzyme work. There are log NK and also induced with. In the log NK, the activation site of enzyme have a specific characteristic and it's not flexible. While the induced with, the active site of enzyme is more flexible, so they can change this form shape, so it can bind with substrate. Okay, so after that, at this slide, we will discuss about the factor that can affect the enzyme works. Okay, for the first, there are temperature. The enzyme just can works in optimum temperature in each organism. For humans, there are 38 temperature until 40 temperature, while in the several bacteria, there are 70 temperature they can get their optimum enzyme work, but it can change based on their habitat. Okay, so after that there are pH or degree of acidity. There are several enzymes just can work in each conditions, like neutral, acid conditions, and base conditions. In neutral, just like thiolin in our mouth. After that, in acid conditions, there are pepsin and renin in our stomach. While the base conditions, there are trypsin, like that, and amylase in our duodenum. For the fourth factors, there are concentrations of substrate and enzyme. Okay, so if there are more enzyme and a little substrate, the process will taking a short time. Okay, and vice versa. Next factors is inhibitor. We can divide inhibitor into three kinds. There are competitive inhibitor, non-competitive, and feedback. In competitive inhibitor, the inhibitor is compete with substrate to bind with active site of enzyme. If they already bind with its active site, the enzyme doesn't work. After that, in non-competitive, the inhibitor not attach or not bind with active enzyme, but they attach in allosteric site. So they change the shape of enzyme. After that, enzyme doesn't work. Okay, for feedback actually comes from a product that block the active enzyme, active site of enzyme, like that. So enzyme cannot work. So after we learn all of that, let me study about the kind of enzyme in our digestive system and each locations in our digestive tract. Okay. Before of that, anyone want to mention what is the kind of substance that needed by our body? Will answer? Okay, you. That's great answer. Please give him applause. Okay, so there are several substances in our body, like carbohydrates, protein, lipids, and amino acids. So are there someone want to mention what kinds of foods that contains carbohydrate, protein, lipids, and amino acid? Okay, you. Good. Okay, so carbohydrate, we can get a carbohydrate substance from rice, oats, bread, and etc. While the lipids and also amino acid, we can, and protein, we can get it from animal or vegetable fats. Okay. Now we will learn the locations of chemical reaction by enzyme of foods it located. First is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate processing begins by mouth. At this organ, polysaccharides are breakdown by amylase enzyme into sugar maltose. After that, in yearly small intestine, polysaccharide from the mouth are breakdown by pancreatic amylase into maltose or disaccharide. After that, in the late gastric intestine, remodel maltose disaccharide with disaccharides enzyme into monosaccharides like glucose, fructose, and galactose. The second is protein. Its processing began in the stomach. In this organ, protein processing occurred by using pepsin, which was previously activated by pepsinogen and gastric acid into polypeptide. Guys, that's all. Okay, up to here, are there any questions? Do you really understand about this material or topics? Okay, thank you. Okay, so maybe I will give you some conclusions, guys, before we end this class. So at this day we have learned about definitions of system digestions in human, and also the comparison between mechanical digestions and chemical digestions, and the location of enzyme that can processing carbohydrate, protein, lipids, and also amino acid. Okay, thank you. I will give you some tasks. Please, for the next week, we will learn about organ that arrange our digestive system like that. Please, you make it in the table. What is their name of organ and also its functions, and you can mention it into our class next week. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you. Have a nice day.